In today's video, I'm going to show you guys the fastest way to get yourself some powder dust in a Rise crossover. But before we go and do that, would you like to have a chance to win a free game pass? All you need to do is drop a like, subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and comment your Roblox username down below. I pick one lucky winner each video. Anyway, guys, without further ado, let's get on with the video. So if you're actively trying to go ahead and get yourself some powder dust, no matter which one it is, you can actually go ahead and go into dungeons to obtain it. Now, depending on the rank of the dungeon will depend on what it has. So I believe it's S ranks and A ranks going to the legendary. B's and C's will go ahead and have the rare. And then I think E and D will have common in. So anyway, let's go ahead and load into this. And I'll show you guys how to obtain the dust. So by the way, you can only get this from going ahead and beating dungeons, or at least actively get it. I'll show you another method, which is actually my preferred method, to go ahead and get it afterwards. But this method's definitely worth showing, because if you need some now, like right now, and you're trying to go and get it, this is probably the best way, or at least the best way to guarantee yourself to get some. First thing you need to do is turn auto rise off, go to settings, make sure you have auto destroy on. Generally, it'll save you so much time. I said make sure to destroy the ones you do not at all need. So we should have to quickly run through this, and you need to make sure they do get destroyed there. And you have a really small chance, basically, for every single one you destroy from just going ahead and drop some dust. I'm not sure how much we'll get, but just make sure you are destroying every single one you go past. Now, it doesn't matter where you are, you have the same chance to get it no matter which area you're in, and this may take you a bit of time to get. It's not like a super easy drop, if I'm going to go and be honest, but it may take, like I said, may take some time. You do a few runs if you want, and honestly, if you're trying to get bosses from dungeons, which I still don't really think that's necessarily meta at the moment, but if you are trying to go and get bosses from dungeons and you are just clearing dungeons in your spare time, it doesn't hurt to go ahead and do this, because you don't need the units anyway, so make sure you just got auto destroy on. You'll get some gems. Know that again, you really need a ton of gems, but hey, you get quite a few things for going ahead and doing this, so it's definitely worth your time. You want to be smart about how you are clearing the dungeon, and you want to kind of do it systematically. So you're basically going to do the smallest areas first, so you can basically just kind of run through the whole thing, and make sure you are destroying everything. Whether you got auto destroy on what, make sure that you are destroying them, because that's what you're going to need to go and do to obtain your stuff right now. And you can also destroy the bosses as well. You may actually want the boss, but if you don't want the boss, you can destroy the bosses as well. And do remember, you can actually clear dungeons multiple times. It's something I feel like it's very easy to forget, but hey, to remember to go do it. It's very useful to remember. And we went ahead and already just got some just there. A pop up a notification, and that's how you know you got some. For this dungeon, I think we actually a legendary as well. So that's really nice to see that as legendary. It's basically the rarest stuff. So we'll go ahead and keep farming all of this up right now, and we'll keep just jumping boss to boss, unit to unit. And we're already at the boss, so I'm probably going to get the boss, because why not? It's a chance of becoming SS. But for the other stuff, you can just go and destroy literally everything if you want. And it's basically the best method to get it. We just got tickets there. Actually, I think we got a weapon. I don't know where we got there. We didn't get any, of course. We didn't destroy the boss. And now you can simply just go and press leave on the dungeon. Press sure. It's a little fast away. You don't have to wait for that countdown. Assuming, of course, it's not a double dungeon. Make sure to do it for the double dungeon. And then you'll load back in to the normal server. And if you were smart, you would have set your spawn point where the dungeon is, which I may or may not have forgot to went ahead and done. If you were smart, you would have set your spawn point and where the dungeon is, and then you can just go back to the dungeon. And you can actually just pay the fee to go ahead and do the dungeon. Again, I'll quickly show you what that means if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm assuming a lot of people will though, but I'll quickly go ahead and do it. So we just fly back over to Grass Village, this is where this one spawned. Of course, everyone knows dungeons spawn in different areas. And different dungeons, when you go ahead and take the things out from it, give you different powder dust. Of course, common being easier to get than the other ones. But anyway, let's go here. Make sure we've set a spawn. At least you could set a spawn. I'm not going to bother with it, as I don't plan on doing it again, but I must show you how to do it. Set spawn using these things. Most people tend to know that. We just go up to it, hold it, set spawn, and you're done. That's simple, that easy. It'll pop on the screen as well, saying you have set your spawn there. And then if we go back to the Rift dungeon, I mean, and it's just over here. And if we can go up to the dungeon, you can actually pay to go and do it. Again, always do gems. Please don't waste your ticket to Roblox. Gems, it's such a cheap way of doing it, at least at the current time in the game. 50k gems is nothing, especially when you're taking out the higher level bosses in the game, which will drop you millions each one. But now that is kind of like the active way to go and get some powder dust. And it's also, I suppose you could argue, a passive way if you aren't selectively going your way to do it and you're just clearing dungeons, for example, trying to get the SS rank boss, which will end up doing a lot of damage. But this isn't actually the way I've obtained about 95% of my things. And this is actually from something that's quite new in the game, and it doesn't really have tons of perks other than this, but that's which kind of some cool stuff. and that is AFK rewards. If you go in menus in the top left, right-hand corner, sorry, of your screen, click on AFK rewards, and it'll say AFK rewards. You really want to teleport to the AFK rewards? You want to go ahead and click yes, and then it will teleport you to the AFK rewards section. Now, you have 50% chance of getting gems. This is absolutely terrible. So you don't want to get gems. This is only really used for basically going AFK, and you got nothing else you're planning on doing. Honestly, it's really not a bad shout to do, at least for a bit. You can get a 10% chance to get 20 common powder. You get some tickets as well if you want that as a passive thing. You have 4.5% chance to get some rare powder, and a 1.5% chance to get some legendary powder, along with the mammoth and the twin. But anyway, we're after the powder here, so this is how you go ahead and obtain it. You have about a 15% chance, I'm pretty sure. It's actually maybe a 16% chance to get powder every time. So hey, you're going to AFK overnight, you might as well leave the game on. You can actually get a ton of powder from this, and I know this seems self-explanatory. You will end up genuinely with so much, and it is 0 effort. This is the lowest, easiest method to go ahead and get tons of powder. I'll wait for a second, it'll be really good to get some powder right here now, so just show you guys how easy it is to go do. Do be aware, if you do have premium, it'll go like twice as fast, and also you do have 50% chance of getting gems. So I suppose there is pros to this, and there is cons to this, but literally, hey, you're going AFK, you're not planning on AFKing a boss or anything, you might as well go ahead and do that. And now that was basically the majority of this video up to the point of how to get the powder, and now I'm going to show you the actual applications of the powder. So hey, if you watched the video up to this point, you're more than welcome to hop off. But if you make your way over to Leveling City and you can go to enchant, you can actually use your powder to enchant weapons. So you can't enchant skins, just for anybody who goes ahead and asks if you can, just in case that was on your mind. But you can actually just enchant pretty much any weapon. You can enchant the Bone Crusher, basically any common. And it'll say this weapon is not enchanted, and then you can use 15 powder and some gems. It always costs gems. Please don't spend tickets. Always use gems in this game. Gems are so easy to get. And then you can go do that, and you'll get your enchants. Now, something really interesting to know about enchants is you can actually go ahead and re-roll your enchants, but it does not stack. So if I re-roll now, so let's go ahead and just pick a different weapon, and say actually some decent enchants there. Not that really matters to that weapon. But anyway, let's go do it with a Trollbane. So it'll cost slightly different amounts depending on the weapon is. So we'll spend that on the Trollbane, and also the rarity that I think can depend on what you spend. And actually, wait, this is rare powder. So yeah, for example, for rare things, of course, they're going to cost rare powder, and then we got loot 3, and we got sharpness there. So what you can also go do though is you can just re-roll it. We got rolled once. That was definitely not worth re-rolling. If you get good versions of the things, really wouldn't do it. And I'll actually show you what your new damage is. So we re-roll again. If you get anything that's to do with damage, it will actually show you how much the stats go up by. So you just keep on re-rolling till you get something you're happy with there. I think this is actually my best weapon, so show up this one again. Depending on how good the weapon is, the cost will go up a considerable amount as well. So we got sharpness 7 there, and that took the damage up a ton. It does also, for whatever reason, every time after you enchant it, just kick you off the screen, which is a bit annoying. And then if you are going to enchant some rarer stuff, it will cost more. But common stuff, really cheap to do, really doesn't cost much. And you can get a lot of the common stuff a lot more easy. The rarer stuff is hard to get, but you'll actually have smaller application for it. Such as I don't think I've actually used any legendary yet, but rare and common use quite a bit of, and you do get through it as soon as you start enchanting at a surprisingly fast rate. But it can make your otherwise useless melee weapons slightly less useless. More, it's only really useful if you're trying to speed clear dungeons, which hey, that helps out, and it'll probably be good to prepare for any future updates. Well, hopefully this video had everything you guys needed. And if you did enjoy it, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and watch some more tutorials. I actually have the most tutorials on the Rise crossover on YouTube, so hey, check them out, guys.